Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review and showing you a demo of the brand new foundation by Colourpop, which is called the Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation. I've actually got two to show you guys because, as you may or may not know, Colourpop is not sold in the UK, it is only sold in the US, and you can order direct from them, but generally you have to pay a fair amount in terms of customs and shipping. And if you are interested in how I get Colourpop sent over to me, I use a mail forwarding service, and I will link the video where I explain it all in the info bar below. So I ordered two shades because, like I said, I was unsure about what color I would be. Just to let you guys know, first off, there are 42 shades altogether, which is absolutely excellent. And this foundation follows on from the success of the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer, which I have done a review on along with the concealer. Just do a search on my channel and you'll find it. Bear with me if I'm looking down now and then, it's just to remind myself of certain types of information. So like I said, there are 42 shades altogether, and they are split up into 6 various different skin tones, from deep dark to medium dark, which is what I used to be, medium, light, and then fair. And from what I can see, each skin tone has been split equally in 7 shades each. So for example, there are 7 deep dark shades, 7 medium dark shades, etc. So hopefully there should be something for everybody and nobody has been missed out. It retails at $16, making it relatively affordable, but slightly a little bit more expensive than what we're normally used to. And I find that happens with a lot of makeup brands that release makeup which has got skincare ingredients in it. One of the main ingredients in here is hyaluronic acid, which is why I would assume it costs $16, and it is 30 ml, which is the standard amount of most foundations. And then they have also done another split to make things easier for you guys that are ordering it online, from cool undertones to warm undertones and neutral undertones. I've got warm undertones. So just first off, to show you the packaging, it comes in this pale orange cardboard boxes, which is nice and simple and easy to dispose of and recycle. And then this is what the packaging itself looks like. Nice, simple, easy, plastic. And then you remove the lid and there's a nice easy to use pump which works nicely and doesn't let out too much product at once. Now I'll be honest with you guys, I did find doing my color match a little bit difficult, purely because I was going by the system and the list that they have placed on their website to try and make things easy for you guys. For example, they say if you are this shade in their filter foundation, whatever it was called, this is what your Pretty Fresh shade will be, and if this is what your shade was in the tinted moisturizer, this is what it will be in the hydrating foundation. Unfortunately, I still didn't find that it helped me that much because they've missed off some of the shades in here, which is why I ended up actually buying the shades medium 100W and medium 110W. So 2 shades which sit next to each other. I've actually found that I'm still too light. I don't know what's happening to me. Every time I try and buy a foundation for myself, it appears to be a little bit too dark. But I do have to say that when I've been testing it, it's been very, very, very hot in London, like super hot. The kind of heat we're not used to. As I'm filming this, it is actually the second day of Eid Mubarak to you guys that are celebrating. And yesterday on Friday, it was 37 degrees in my part of London. My part of London, Northwest, always seems to be a lot more hot than the rest of London, and the southeast of England generally always tends to have the nicer weather anyway. For those people that always hear about rainy England, yeah, not in London. I have worn this in the highest of the highest temperatures, and because I was at home, lockdown and that, I was in my house where it was hot, it was humid, I had a fan on me. So if anybody is wondering if I have tried it out in like what kind of environments I've tried it out in, trust me, I've tried it out in the most hot temperatures whatsoever. And I live in a city, so it's very polluted heat, it's very different, it's very See, the problem for me also was that both the foundation shades that I've bought have got exactly the same skin tone. I mean, they just show a different model, but medium 100W is described as warm foundation for medium skin tones, and medium 110W is warm foundation for medium skin tones. They've both got exactly the same description despite the fact that they're different colors. Like how? So what I'm going to quickly do for you guys is I am going to just show you what they both look like against my skin tone. In the end, it did turn out that 100 was better match for me than 110, but I just want to show you guys against my jawline how it is. It's only a tiny bit dark for me, just a tiny bit, not too much, but enough for me to get slightly annoyed with it and lie in the sun for a little while in the hopes I get a little bit darker. I've been trying. Okay, my earring just kind of came off. Okay, so here we have it. So this is 100W and 110W. As you can see, this one is definitely a lot warmer. Well, not a lot warmer, it's a little bit warmer. I would personally say if you are an NC42, this would be fine for you, and if you're an NC40, that would be fine for you. I'm kind of on an NC37 level these days, I would say, bordering on NC35. And another thing that you need to bear in mind is that after 5 minutes of applying this to your face, it does oxidize a shade darker. So even when I first apply it like this, this is how it looks, unblended, but it will get a little bit darker over the next couple of minutes once it's almost dried. So as you can see how it works against my neck, because you should generally match your foundation to your neck. And if you are South Asian like me, or if you've got deeper skin, a lot of the times we suffer from hyperpigmentation. We also suffer, unfortunately, from random tanning, meaning my forehead is slightly darker than my cheeks, which are slightly darker than my chin, which is a different color to my neck, which can be really irritating, which is why also when you try out foundations in shops, if you're able to these days, you should always match it to your neck. Don't do a little test like that on your face. Don't even try and do it on your wrists, on your hands, especially in the summer, because you could be tanned without realizing it. You need to match it to your neck, because once it's all set and everything, you don't have foundation on your neck, but you do here, that will be the area that determines whether or not it's a perfect match. So this is just so that you guys can see what the two shades look like together. I'm just going to wipe it off now, just give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. I may be looking slightly red because firstly I just rubbed it off my cheek. Secondly, even though it was 37 degrees yesterday, today is about 26, and I have had to shut the windows and doors as one of my neighbours is deciding to have a party of about 50 people, and I can hear them. Anyway, so today when I do the demo, I'm going to be using the Morphe M439 Deluxe Buffer Brush. Any foundation brush will do, to be honest, because this has got a fairly liquidy consistency. It's not thick at all, so any brush will do. This is just because I happen to have a clean one. It's a little bit stained, but that's because of the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which tends to do that. But any kind of brush will do, but I like to use ones like this because you can really buff it into the skin. And let me just read to you quickly what it says off the box. So this foundation is ideal for all skin types. It contains hyaluronic acid, known to hydrate and support healthy looking skin, and it also contains coconut water, which is known to support hydration and skin softness. It says that it is a hydrating foundation with skin perfecting medium buildable coverage for natural healthy looking skin, which I agree with completely. All you need to do is prep your skin with a primer. I don't have any primer on, I've got moisturizer and sunscreen on, and use a Pretty Fresh blending sponge or their brush. Of course, use their products, that's exactly what they would say. It's also vegan and cruelty free, and it is also oil free and dermatologically tested. And on their website it says pretty much the same. This skin perfecting medium buildable coverage foundation creates a healthy skin like finish. Get coverage and hydration with the same good for you ingredients like hyaluronic acid for your healthiest looking skin ever. And it says that the finish is natural, and it says that it's got a Hydra Fresh complex, that made up word, formulated with fruit extracts to enhance the look of skin by instantly hydrating and diminishing the look of fine lines while delivering hydration over time. And then it says the same things about hyaluronic acid and the rest. And then it's got the list of ingredients. Coconut water is about halfway down on the list, and hyaluronic acid is just 1 or 2 above. So again, the amount of the actual skincare ingredient within the foundation is probably minimal. Make sure that you give it a good shake before you use it, because like I said, it's quite liquidy in texture, and when you've got quite liquidy foundations, they tend to kind of separate inside. So you just need to give them a good old shake. So what you'll find first off with this foundation is that it applies beautifully to the skin because it's got such a liquidy texture. It blends very easily and seamlessly. There's no patchiness. It covers everything evenly, which is the most important thing when it comes to foundation. It gives a very nice medium to buildable coverage kind of texture to the skin. It does not emphasize any texture when I apply it, and it actually tends to dry quite quickly as well. There's no real need to set it unless you need to. When I've tried this before my review, I actually forgot to powder down my face and there was no issues throughout the day. It dried to a nice natural finish and it looks amazing on the skin. So overall, I'm very happy with the way that this applies, especially in terms of first layer. So this is what it looks like with one layer completely done over the face. As you can see, it all looks lovely and it looks even, and despite the fact that I'm actually quite hot in this room, my hair is actually sticking to my neck. I'm that hot and I can't put a fan on in here because you'll hear it and it will annoy you all. That this is not kind of clogging up, which can happen if your skin is too hot and a bit sweaty. It's kind of like the sweat isn't really affecting my skin so much. What I'm going to do is just apply a tiny little blob like I always do, just to the areas of my face which I tend to have a little bit more pigmentation and scarring from spots that I had when I was a teenager and where I need a little bit extra coverage. This is a really good medium to full buildable coverage foundation, I find. Yes, it does transfer because it is a hydrating foundation. I actually think that for those of you that have got oily skin, you may still like this as long as you powder it down quite a bit, because I'll be completely honest with you guys, when I wore it, like I said, in 37 degrees London heat, my face only got shiny after about 8 hours. That is 8 hours in 37-degree heat. So you can imagine how much longer it would last if the temperature wasn't as high as it was. 37 degrees is almost unheard of in places like the UK and many other places as well. That's the kind of temperatures you get in Death Valley and that, you know, and in the Sahara, but not really in the UK and other places as well. So I think this is definitely one of those foundations that will look amazing on your skin all year round. And even if you've got oily skin, powder it down a little bit extra and it will look great. It gives a really nice natural finish that I think looks lovely. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look overdone. I can't personally say whether it settles into fine lines or smooths them out because I don't have any fine lines, so I can't really dispute that claim. It is transferable 100%, so bear in mind when you know, touching your face, that sort of thing, you will get foundation on your fingers. Skin-like finish, definitely. Healthy looking skin, completely. I think this foundation is absolutely great. In the same way that I was such a big fan of the tinted moisturizer, despite the fact that that was too light for me, I just can't win. I absolutely loved it. It lasted amazingly on my face. What I love the most about this Pretty Fresh range is that it tends to last really long on the face. Despite the fact that it doesn't even say long lasting, that is one of its definite major selling points for me. And obviously it keeps your face hydrated. At no point did my face feel dry. It did not feel kind of crepey. I don't know if you've noticed, while I'm talking to you, my skin's actually got darker. I've just looked at my mirror and I'm like looking a little bit oranger than you were earlier, but it has oxidized while I've been talking to you guys. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup. I am going to be setting it with my usual Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder in the shade medium, which is nearly finished. But any setting powder you have will do, and I'll be back in a minute to show you guys what it looks like when everything is set and complete. Okay, I am done. The rest of my makeup is all finished and complete. Everything is set. It feels lovely. It looks gorgeous. It looks natural. It feels like velvet-ish. I'm going to say ish because I think it's because I'm a little bit sweaty, so it might not feel completely as velvety as it should do, but take my word for it, it normally does feel quite soft. It looks lovely. I mean, the coverage itself is great as well, considering the only extra part I placed was in this area and only a very slight amount. Medium coverage seems to be really nice at covering everything. Consider I've got textured skin. It does not emphasize any texture. It does not clog up in any areas. My contour, blush and highlight has sat beautifully across my skin. There's no patchiness. There's no settling in to any areas of my face. It doesn't create smile lines around my face as well, because I've got, when I smile, it's a really bad smile, I know. You can see I get lines here, but that's because that's how my face is. And sometimes with certain foundations, I find that it can collect in that area, making my face look aged, which, let's be honest, touch wood, I'm aging all right. from the outside anyway. Yeah, generally very, very happy with it. Give it a 10 out of 10. Excellent, excellent foundation. Really happy with this Hyaluronic Pretty Fresh range. Look into getting the tinted moisturizer if you want something with a little less coverage, but it still has a decent amount of coverage. I like the way that this performs. I think it actually performs a lot better than their other foundation. Not that that foundation is bad, but just in terms of comparison, I find that my skin feels like it can breathe a lot better with this as well, because there are skincare ingredients in it like hyaluronic acid. My face does not get dry. Just for reference, because I don't think I've mentioned it yet, I've got normal to combination skin tone, so I tend to get oily around my T-zone area. This does not force any extra oil to come out in my skin sooner than it needs to. I just got a little bit shiny when it was really, really hot, like I said earlier. But other than that, the way that it performs throughout the day is great. It doesn't really separate. If anything, when it's been at least 8 hours plus, I just start to get a little bit shiny. But that again was just down to the fact that it was really, really hot. Some foundations can separate throughout the hours of the day. This does not, so I'm really, really happy with this. What else can I say? Oh, on my lips I'm wearing Colourpop's Top 8 Ultra Matte Lip, and that's it for my review. Hope you guys are wonderful and great. Hope you enjoyed the review. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you've got any comments or questions about this foundation in particular, let me know below. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!